which is given by OpenGL. I'll just share the PPT. You just let me know if it is visible. Is the slides visible now? I'll just go into the slideshow. So if it is visible, someone can unmute and they can tell whether the slide is visible or not.
Yes,
Yes,
sir,
sir.
visible.
Okay. Then we'll start with this module then. See, in the first module, we had studied about the vertex function. So in the first module also, we had studied about, 1 second, I'll just enable this pen. In the first module also, we had studied about functions like GL begin, GL begin, GL end, and inside this, you are writing some code like GL vertex 2i. So GL vertex 2i, some points P1, P2, P3, like that. The same thing here also, there is nothing big about that. There you were talking about the GL underscore points, GL underscore lines, like that. We were writing. No, now here we will learn some functions to create polynomial, to create rectangle, to create, like, the we'll be writing the code, or we'll be writing the functions to create polygons. It can be rectangle, it can be triangle, anything. So uh, all these things, the logic will the syntax will remain same. So whatever you want to draw, you will be writing within GL begin and GL end itself, inside the GL begin and GL end. So you will write the functions, or you'll write the functions to create those polygons. So here we will learn how to draw triangle, like how to draw the triangles, how to draw the polygons, how to draw the quadrilateral. So these are some of the functions which we will be learning. So now the first function is given by RECT. Um, so all these functions will be written. So all the whatever functions you're writing, you will be writing within GL begin and GL end. So everything you will be writing between GL begin and GL end. So GL begin, GL end. End doesn't take any parameter. So so a, if you want to write, if you want to draw a polygon, so then also you'll start with the function vertex only, GL vertex. It can be like, there are various versions of there. So this is a simple one, vertex 2i, then the points P1, P2, P3, like this. So mm, for polygon also, if you want to draw a polygon, means any polygon can be like a rectangle, square, triangle, square, rectangle, or some hexagon, pentagon, like that. So some of the examples, these are some of the examples of polygon. So you should know that you should need at least 3 points. You should need at least 3 points so that you can draw a triangle. Point P1, P2, P3. You should need at least 4 points to draw a square or a rectangle. So that point you just keep in mind. So GL vertex function is used to give the input for the polygon. So these inputs will act as the vertices. So GL vertex function is used to input the coordinates uh, for a polygon. When you are placing all the vertices, I mean the coordinates, when you are placing all the points, it will form a polygon. For example, if I write P1, P2, P3, I'll get I will get a triangle. If I add P1, P2, P3, P4 within GL begin and GL end, I will get rectangle. So like this. So this is how I'll be constructing the polygons. So one thing is you'll be using GL vertex function. It is taking the coordinates or the points as the input. So this is the first point to be considered. So by default, the color by default the color will be a solid. The polygon interior will be a solid color, which is set by the color settings. Whatever is the current color setting is there, that will be set. So it will be solid by default. It will be solid. So you can change that to have some pattern. So that is done. So by default it will be filled with solid color. You can change that to have a pattern, and also you can display the border also. Also you can display the polygon edges. You can also display the polygon edges as borders around the interior color. So this is also done. So here for this GL begin, we can use six constants. Six symbolic constants can be used as a parameter um, for getting the polygon, for getting or for generating the polygon. So here six symbolic constants are there, so that you can use it as an or that you can use it as an argument. For example, GL underscore triangle, GL underscore triangle strip, GL underscore quadrilateral. So all these parameters are there. There are six constants are there, which you can use inside the GL begin as a parameter to generate or to draw the polygon. Um, Also, or to describe the polygon fill areas. So after this, um, you can also use this function GL rectangle star to uh, generate or to fill a rectangle. So here x1 and x2, x1 and y1, and x2 and y2, they are the end points. So one corner, if you take this is one point. This you can take it as x1, y1, and this can be the another endpoint. So this is taking four parameters. This GL rectangle, it is taking this function is taking four parameters. So one corner of this rectangle is represented by the coordinate position x1, y1, and the other coordinate position is represented by x2, y2. One is x1, y1, the other one is x2, y2. So, and also this is regarding the parameters x1, y1, one corner, x2, y2, another corner. After that, the star is there, no? So this star can be replaced with two prefixes. So two prefixes are there. Um, if I'm using I means it's a data type. I refers to the integer. If I'm using S means S refers to the short data type. If I'm using F means F refers to the double, and V represents vector. V represents vector. So like this. So we are using different data types. So if I write it as if in this example GL rect I. So the input type is integer. So this is x1, y1, x2, y2. So this is one end of the screen, and the other one is other end of the rectangle. Like one end of the rectangle is at the position 200. X is 200. No, x is 200. X is 200 and y is 100. So on a line where the x is 200 and y is 100. So one corner of the rectangle is at that part, and the other corner is x is at 50. So if I take x is at 50, if I take x is at 50 means somewhere here x is at 50, and y is at 250. Somewhere 250 means here. So some point. So this is one corner of the rectangle, and this is another corner of the rectangle. So usually the rectangle will be like this. So this is how it is being drawn. So GL rect I, it's a function which will take four parameter, where x1, y1 represents one point or one corner of the rectangle, and x2, y2 will represent another corner. So this GL rectangle star, the star can be replaced with I. So if you're referring the integer data type, it can be replaced with F if you're referring short data type, and it can also take float and double also. So in addition to that, if you're using V means V corresponds to the vertices. V corresponds to the vector. Vector in the sense we have already studied in points. So vertex 1, it is starting at 200 comma 100, and vertex 2, it is starting at 50 comma 250. So that you are representing the same equation, you are representing in terms of um, vertex for in the vector format. You just check the last line, the same. So this is also, see this GL rectangle I, and this is the same code. One second. Some see this GL rect I and this GL rect vertices, they are same. So here you are giving the input. This is one way of representing the coordinates. Here the same coordinates, here the same coordinates, here the same coordinates, here the same coordinates. 200 and 100 is stored in vector 1, and 50 and 250 is stored in vector 2. So it's another way, of representing. That's all. So uh, there is not. One second, I'll just okay. So this is the same thing, either you can represent in the vector form or in the normal representation. This is how you can draw a rectangle this rectangle in OpenGL polygon fill area function. So in the first case, you're directly giving the values. In the second case, you are storing it in the array, and from that you are generating using the vector format. So this is regarding the rectangle. Now you can, the same thing you can use to generate polygon also. so GL begin is there. Now directly I'll explain the code. So for GL begin, if you're using GL underscore polygon, if you're passing the symbolic constant, we can display a single polygon. How it is filled means it is represented by points P1, P2, P3, P4, P5, P6. So P1, P2, P3, P4, P5, P6. So this polygon, so you are mentioning the symbolic constant as polygon, and inside that you are passing 6 points or 6 vertices. So the 6 vertices will have their own coordinate positions, and they are drawn. So this is how the polygon is being generated. So you have drawn the polygon. So um, now that P1 means some coordinate position. So each of the points will have some coordinate value. So that P1 will have some x comma y value, P2 will have some x comma y value, P3 will have some x comma y value. They are represented as an array format, just like the previous example. So they have stored the x and y value like this, and they're passing P1, like P1 is equal to P1 of array is equal to some 50 comma 100, and that P1 they're passing as the parameter. Then P2 of some array will be like some 100 comma 200. So then they're passing P2. So that is the functionality of this GL polygon. So what it is doing means, you are passing the vertices, you are passing the points or the coordinate points to draw this polygon. Here the GL begin function will take GL underscore polygon as the symbolic constant. So if you're using GL underscore polygon as the symbolic constant, you can draw a single polygon. For you to draw this, for you to draw this polygon, in order to draw any polygon, I told you that at least 3 points are needed. So at least 3 points are not needed. If you're inputting only 2 points, using 2 points you can draw only a line, so nothing will be displayed. So if you're passing only 2 parameters, nothing will be displayed. You need at least 3 points. You need at least 3 points to display the polygon. So otherwise nothing will be displayed. So after this the variations of this polygon. So instead of GL underscore polygon, if you're using GL underscore triangle, you will get a polygon with two triangles. You'll get a polygon with, that is, you'll get two polygons like two triangles. So first polygon will be generated with P1, P2, P6 point. So P1, P2, then P6. See, first in the order itself, the polygon will be generated. So What this GL underscore triangle will do means it will display the triangle. It will display the triangle. So here we have generated two unconnected triangles by using this 6 points. 6 points are there. So two unconnected triangles are formed. So the first triangle is formed by the first three vertices P1, P2, P3. So P1, P2, P3. And the next one is formed by P3, P4, and P5. The second one is formed by P3, P4, P5. So this is regarding the GL underscore triangles. Um, so here, see here, everything here it is represented in the points are formed in anti-clockwise only. So P1, P2, P6, then P3, P P3, P4, P5, P3, P4, P5. So it will be like the vertex position will be in the anti-clockwise direction. So if you're using GL underscore triangle underscore strip, so GL underscore triangle underscore strip means you'll form the triangles, you'll form the set of triangles or the connected triangles where one triangle is formed, the new triangle will be formed, which will have an edge common to the previously generated triangle. For example, P1, P2, for example, it is also in the order only P1, P2, P6. The first triangle will be through P1, P2, P1, P2, P6. So first this triangle will be formed. So this edge will be common. Using this edge as the common, the next vertices is P3. So this will be formed P3. So next one will be P2, P3, P6. So after this, the edge which is common is P6 and P3. So using P6 and P3, P5 will be formed. So this will be drawn like this. P3, P5, P6. Now P5 and P3 is common. So after that P4 will be drawn. So this is how this GL triangle strip works. And if you are having if you are having if you are having 6 points means if you are having six vertices means you can form four triangles. That is n vertices means you can form n minus 2. So for this also you should have at least 3 points to get at least 3 points to get one triangle. So this is the working of GL underscore triangle underscore strip. So the first three coordinate points define the vertices for one triangle. Uh, After that, how it done means here the one edge was common. Now using that edge as the common, we were generating the next triangles. So one thing is here you should make sure that no vertices are repeated with the same, that no vertices are repeated, like P1 should not be present at another place, or the same coordinates, like P3 should not have the same coordinate values. So each triangle which is being generated will share an edge with the previously formed triangle. So if you can keep that thing, you can form. So the example which I told you, no, the first triangle will be formed with P1, P2, P6. After that, this will be common to generate the new triangle. Once new triangle is generated, this line will be common for forming one more triangle. Once this triangle is generated, means this will be common. So this is GL underscore um, triangle underscore strip. So if you're using GL underscore, what triangle underscore fan means, how the triangle will be generated means, first thing is P1, P2, P3. First P1, P2, P3. First it will form like this P1, P2, P3. After that, delete this line P1, P3, and what is the next coordinate? P1, P3, P4. So P1, P3, P4. So P1, P3, P4. So after this, uh, P1, P4, P5, P1, P4, P5 generate. After this, P1, P5, P6, P1, this is P5, no, P1, P5, P6. So this is how. So here the starting vertex will be common. Here the starting vertex will be common. So from that, the other triangles will be generated. So this is a way to form a set of connected triangles. Here also the same thing, same as the previous thing, GL underscore triangle underscore strip. So here also n vertices means you can get n minus 2 triangles. N vertices means n minus 2 triangles. At least you need 3 vertices to get one triangle. So this is how it will work. So after this, quadrilateral. So quadrilateral means 4 points. So it GL quads. So GL quads means what it will do means it will generate first 4 points will form one quadrilateral, and the next 4 points will form another quadrilateral. At least you should need 4 points to generate a quadrilateral. So P1, P2, P3, P4 one, and P5, P6, P7, P8 one quadrilateral. So these two quadrilaterals are not connected. So if you're using GL underscore quads means you will not get the connected uh, quadrilateral. If you want to what do we call, they are disconnected. So if you want to get the connected quadrilateral means you can use GL underscore quad underscore strip. So P1, P2, P3, P4 is connected. This is one quadrilateral. Then P4, P3, P6, P5 is connected. Another quadrilateral. P5, P6, P7, P8 is connected. This is third quadrilateral. So for this formula will be like, if you are having n vertices. If you are having n vertices means you can obtain n by 2 minus 1 quadrilateral. For example, in 8 points are there. If you are having 8 points means you can obtain 8 by 2 minus 1 quadrilateral. 8 by 2 is 4. 4 minus 1 will be 3. So if you are having 8 points means you can get 3 quadrilateral. So the first quadrilateral is P1, P2, P3, P4. The second one is P4, P3, P6, P5, and the third one is P5, P6, P7, P8. So you're using the constant GL underscore quad underscore strip. So this is regarding the GL underscore quad underscore strip. So these are the polygon functions. These are the polygon functions which we have studied. Uh, GL polygon, GL triangles, triangle underscore strip, triangle underscore fan, GL underscore quads, and GL underscore quad underscore strip. So using these functions, you can generate the polygon. So after this, what do we study next? So now we know the basic thing. So now first we should know how how the geometric transformation works, like what is this raster method, what is this uh, raster method for geometric transformation. So once we know this process, then we can learn the functions related to geometric transformation. So the first thing is first thing is in raster system it will store the picture information as color pattern. So the raster system will store the picture information as color pattern in frame buffer. So inside the frame buffer, this raster system will store picture information as color pattern. So first point. So so by see what is the advantage of this method means. So the object transformation can be done by manipulating the pixel values. So because in raster system, picture information will be stored as color patterns in frame buffer. So the object transformation can be done by manipulating the pixels or the color array of pixel values. So for this, arithmetic operations are sufficient. So this way of pixel transformations are efficient. So for example, there is a function uh, that will manipulate. There is a function. For example, there is a function. For example, there is a function. There is one function. What this function will do means it will manipulate the rectangular pixel array, which we will call it as the raster operation, and it will move this entire block of pixels from one position to another position, which we will call it as the block transfer, or the block transfer, or bit block transfer, or pixel block transfer. So there is a function which will manipulate the rectangular array of pixels, which we will call it as raster operations, and it will move this entire block. It will move this entire block of pixels from one position to another position. So which we will call it as the block transfer. See here, this house is there, no, this object house is there, no, it is represented, it is stored inside a pixel, where the starting position of the pixel is pmin, and the maximum position, the ending border of the pixel is pmax. So it is a block which starts with pmin and it is ending at pmax. So what you are doing means you are transferring this entire block from this position to a new position called p naught. So this is how the geometric transformation is happening. You are moving this object, you are translating this object from this position to this position. So here you are performing the operations on pixels. So if you rearrange the pixels, you can rotate the object also. So what I did means, here I was transferring the entire block of this object, which was starting at pmin and pmax, to a new area called p naught. So it's a translation. You're moving the object from one position to another position. So this was the figure. This figure illustrated the two-dimensional translation, um, which was implemented as a block transfer of that uh, buffer area, which we'll call it as the block transfer. So what I did, I translated meant moves. I translated an object from some position, which was at p min, to a new position p naught. That is how I did this means, I transferred the entire rectangular block of array. I transferred the entire rectangular block of pixel array. So like Pmin was the lock. I mean, you can call it as the limit. Pmin was the limit, and P naught was the destination position. So this is translation. The translation, you're moving from P min position to P naught position. So you can rotate this object. Rotation is important. So translation was done, no? So you can rotate this object by rearranging the elements of this pixel. So that is like by rearranging this, you know that it is like this now. You can rearrange that pixels into this way. So you can rotate this object by rearranging the elements inside this pixel array. Inside this pixel array, if you rearrange the elements, you can rotate that object. So in order to rotate an object by 90 degree, if you want to rotate an object by 90 degree in clockwise direction, sorry, in anti-clockwise direction means, so the method to be followed is, for example, the pixel block is given by 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12. So example, this is example. So the pixel block is given, this rectangular area, this area is given by these values. So you can rotate an object by 90 degree in anti-clockwise direction by reversing the values. So first thing is, if you want to rotate this object by 90 degree in anti-clockwise direction, and if it is given by this pixel values means, the first thing is you should rearrange the rows. The first sorry not rearrange the rows First thing is you should reverse the values in rows. If it is 1 2 3 means write it as 3 2 1. If it is 4 5 6 means write it as 6 5 4. If it is 9 7 8 9 means write it as 9 8 7. If it is 10 11 12 means write it as 12 11 10. So after this, after this, represent it in terms of rows and columns. So if it is convert the rows into columns, the first step is reverse the values in each row. So 1, 2, 3 will become 3, 2, 1, 6, 5, 4, 4, 5, 6 will become 6, 5, 4, 7, 8, 9 will become 9, 8, 7, 10, 11, 12 will become 12, 11, 10. After that, like convert rows into columns. So 3 to 1, I'll represent it as in the row column wise 3 to 1, 6, 5, 4, 9, 8, 7, 12, 11, 10. So if you perform this matrix operation, the object is rotated by 90 degree in anti-clockwise direction. So this is a procedure. This is a procedure. So in this raster method, you just need to transfer the pic. I mean, you just need to interchange the pixel value. So this is for 90 degree anti-clockwise rotation. If you want to rotate it 180 degree, if you want to rotate it 180 degree means how to do that. So if you want to rotate 180 degree means 180 degree, no, 180 degree, no, the input will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So if you want to rotate it 180 degree means the first thing what you have to do means here con so three, okay, first thing is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 is there, no? So how to convert this means see 180 degree will be a 180 degree rotation is obtained first by reversing the order of the elements in each row of the array and then reversing the order of the row. Meaning the first thing is 1, 2, 3 is there, no? Write it as 3, 2, 1. After that 6, 5, 4, 9, 8, 7, 12, 11, 10. So 180 degree rotation will be obtained by reversing the order of the elements in each row. So I've reversed the order of the element. The same methodology which we had followed for the first thing also. After this, you just need to reverse the order of the row. Though there we were converting rows into columns. No, here you just need to reverse the order. So reverse the order means row 0, row 1, row 2, row 3. 3 will become 0. So it is like reversing, changing the order of the rows. It is like the last one will come at the first and the first one will go at the last. So last one will come at the first, so it will become 12, 11, 10. After that, the second last will come at to the second position 9, 8, 7. Then 6, 5, 4. Then 3, 2, sorry. Then 3, 2, 1. So like this. So like this you can generate. So this matrix is regarding 180 degree rotation. So in 90 degree rotation also, the first step will be to reverse the pixel values. 1, 2, 3 means 3, 2, 1, 4, 5, 6 means 6, 5, 4, 7, 8, 9 means 9, 8, 7, 10, 11, 12 means 12, 11, 10. So after the next step will be changing rows into columns. In 180 degree means the first step will remain same. The next step is to change row. Last row will come to the first row. Last but second will come to the second row. Last but third will come to the third row. You're changing the order. So this is the procedure which is followed for 90 degree rotation and 180 degree rotation. So but but uh, but if it doesn't contain, but if it is not if it is not if it is not exactly 90 degree, if it is not exactly 180 degree means the first thing is like um, you should calculate. First thing is each destination pixel area will be mapped to the rotated array and the amount of overlap will be calculated. See, first thing is if it is in between 90 and 180 or if it is between 0 and 90 means what you will do means each destination pixel area will be mapped to a rotated array and the amount of overlap with the rotated pixel will be calculated. And a color for this destination pixel will be computed by averaging the colors of the overlapped pixels which are weighted by the percentage of their overlap. After that, this pixel area in the original block will be scaled using the specific scaling values Sx and Sy, and then it will map to the destination pixel. After that, the color of each destination pixel is assigned according to its area of overlap with the scaled pixel. So this is the procedure. So you need to know about 90 degree and 180 degree. If it is in between 90 and 180, or if it is other than 90 and 180, so the 4 points you should remember. The first thing is the destination pixel will be mapped to a rotated array. After that, the amount of overlap with the rotated pixel will be calculated. After that, a color for this destination pixel will be computed by averaging the color of the overlapped pixels, which are weighted by their percentage of overlap. Then pixel area that were there in the original block will be scaled using Sx and Sy value, and they'll be mapped to the destination pixel. And the color of the each destination pixel will be assigned according to its area of overlap with the scaled pixel area. So this is a format. So this is regarding the methods, the raster method for geometric transformation. So in order to help this geometric raster transformation, we have functions. We have OpenGL functions. So the first function, the first function is called copy pixel function. So what this copy pixel function will do means, the moment which we studied, no, the moment which we saw, no, what this will do means that it will do the translation of the array of pixels, or it will do the translation of a rectangular array of pixel color values from one buffer area to another buffer area. So the translation of rectangular array of pixel color values from one buffer area to another buffer area is done through this GL copy pixel. So this is taking care of that translation of that rectangular array of pixel color values from one area to another area. It contains four parameters. The first two parameter will give you the location of the pixel. Um, and that See, the first two parameter will give you the location, and the next two will give you the dimension of the pixel block. And GL color means what color you want to copy. So GL copy pixel, it is used for transferring the values from one buffer area to another buffer area. It contains four parameters: x min, y min, width, height, which is giving you the location and size, location, the dimension of the pixel. And it contains color, meaning GL color will tell which color you have to copy. So this is done by mm, mm, the first function called copy pixel. And also, so you can also store RGB color values in a buffer inside an array. So inside an array, you can store the RGB color values within the function called read pixel. So this read pixel, the next function is there, no, this read pixel. So what this read pixel will do means, um, you can store the RGB color values. You can store RGB color values inside a buffer which is saved in an array called color array, using this function GL read pixel. So it is taking seven parameters. It is taking seven parameter. So the color table indices will be stored at the pixel positions, where you will replace the constant GL underscore RGB with GL underscore color underscore index. So if the color table indices are at the pixel positions, you will replace the constant GL underscore RGB with GL underscore color underscore index. So if it is at the index position, means you'll replace the GL underscore RGB with GL underscore color underscore index. So next one is the drop pixel. So drop pixel means, you know, that you'll rotate the color values, means we studied the matrix now, where I was changing the values from 1 to 3 to 3 to 1, the same way. So in order to rotate the color values, you'll rearrange the rows and columns that are present in color array, which is stored in the color array uh, uh, array. So so for that, after after the rotation is done, you have to put the rotated array back to the buffer, which is done by using draw pixel. So You will rearrange the rows and columns of the color array, which we saw in the previous section, like a rotation of 90 degree and rotation of 180 degree. Once the rotation is done, you have to put that rotated array back to the buffer by using this gl underscore the gl draw pixel. After that, the zooming operation is done by the zooming operation, or the scaling operation is done by gl pixel zoom function. So this will take care of um, the scaling part. The scaling part is done by gl pixel zoom function. So S6 and sy are the scaling along x-axis or x factor and y factor. So, these are some of the support which is given by OpenGL raster transformation. So after this, we'll talk about some 2D geometric transformation. So GL translate, GL rotate, GL scale. So, so I think we'll talk about this in the next class, since the time is already 2:17. So the next class will start at 2:20. So I'll stop the class now. So in the next class, I'll explain about this, and we'll solve some problems related to transformations, and then we can go with the coding part. So I'll stop the class now, so we can continue it in the next classes.